Hi guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we are putting some more clubs to the test in our head-to-head iron series. Today we've got the Callaway Elyte iron, a great iron for 2025, against the Titleist T200. Remember, if you like our videos, please hit that subscribe button and tell all your golfing friends. So this is a head-to-head that has been requested in the past. We're going to, over the next few videos that you're going to see, put together some head-to-head iron tests that you guys have asked for on comments on in previous videos. So that'd be quite fun for us to do. This one's a bit of a weird one. We've got T200 in Titleist, an iron that's been out now around 18 months. For me, it's a solid iron, always been a solid iron in the Titleist family. It's done really, really well. However, over the last 18 months, you have seen a little bit of the player that used to play T200 dive into the T150 in the Titleist family. It's a good iron, it's fast. They don't mess around with this iron too much. It looks good. You know what you're gonna get from a T200. Elyte, however, is a brand new iron to the market. Now, I've said this in some of the older videos, and you can go back and watch when we reviewed this. This, for me, felt like a comeback iron for Callaway. Callaway, over the years, have been absolutely synonymous with game improvement, forgiving, good-looking irons. I go back to the years, that's how old I am. I go back to the years of X14, X16, X18, not some of my favorite, but X14, X16. The Pro Series versions of those two heads were phenomenal irons back in the day. Callaway have lost their way over the last few years in that time, that game improvement iron. But this, as I said earlier in the year, is an absolute beast. It looks good. It's got a little bit of hint of X forged in it. It's got a little bit of X14 in it. That's my feeling anyway. It's performed really well so far in the year in fittings. So to put this up against an iron that we know is always going to perform in the T200 is certainly going to be interesting. So let's jump on TrackMan and see what the numbers say. So let's jump into the bay. We've got the Callaway Elyte up first. So I've got this in the dynamic gold mid 100 shaft. Again, look guys, I can't keep saying how good this iron looks for a game improvement iron. It certainly feels hot off the face. What I do like about this iron, although it feels hot in terms of the speed and the way the ball reacts, I think what's really, really good with this iron is how soft it actually feels. And there's certain brands that shouldn't really deviate from what they do really well. And for me, Callaway has always been the game improvement iron brand. It's been a brand that's dominated that market back in the early 2000s, late 90s. It absolutely dominated it. And I don't think they've dominated the market in the way that they wanted to. I think this iron is going to put them back on the map. It has already. We're seeing sell-through in stores as really, really good. The feedback we're getting from customers is they like the look of it. It's not too chunky. It doesn't look like a game improvement iron, but it gives every aspect of it. A little bit of offset. It gives a nice top line. So a top line that's nicely shaped. So what I mean by that is it's not too thick that it's ugly to look at, but it's not too thin that it scares the living daylights out of you. So, nice little fat one, that's what you need. Just putting the full game improvement element to this iron. So let's hit a couple of. So in terms of club head speed there, let's have a little look up the screen. We're getting just shy of 90 miles an hour speed, 116 ball speed, 163 carry. That one was really, really knifed, really thin, so no good. Can't quite find a swing with this yet. And that's quite a good test to this type of iron, how bad these shots actually are and how bad these swings are. We know that, or I tend to know that from my perspective, a carry on these irons, or a normal iron, is around that 175 with a 7 iron. You know, I'm happy with that. So these are dropping off to 162. Let's have a little look there. We've got 162, 163. We'll get rid of that one that I completely fatted that went 130. They're all poor strikes, but they're still only 10 yards short of where I'd expect. So that was a better strike, not quite perfect by all means, any means. So decent strike. What we got there? 181. That's what I'd like to see with this iron. I know that I'm 175 with my irons, so something that's a little bit hotter, a little bit more forgiving. 181, pretty solid. You know, for me, this iron, you know, when I'm hitting it today, it does feel like it's coming out a little low. They've obviously got the HL versions of this as well. So if you are struggling with this particular model in the Elite, you can go into the HL and it can pop that ball up a little bit more. My land angle's a little bit light there, isn't it? It's not bad. I mean, I'm a big fan of it. It's priced really well this year. Overall, it's a solid iron, but can it compete with T200? Now, T200's a little bit more money. So if you're on a budget and price is going to be a driver for you, Elite's going to win in this mix all day long. In terms of look, well, it's interesting actually, because you'd be more inclined to maybe put the Elite down the T350 route in terms of the game improvement version of Titleist. So Titleist is game improvement, pure game improvement iron is that T350. And you'd probably say, well, that should go up against Elite. Well, yes, maybe. However, we're not doing that. We're doing these two. And in terms of the top line, there's really not a lot in it. There's actually not a lot in it to look at all. Both got similar amount of offset. Both look neat, both similar in their chrome finish. Yeah, there's not a lot in that at all. It's really interesting. Let's see how the numbers stack up. Oh, T200's flown higher there. 100% that's flown higher. What we got on height? 87. It's gone nowhere, that. Wow, that felt really weird. That felt really good. That's amazed me. Okay. Land angle's good, but just gone nowhere. No, that won't. Okay, let's try and hit a couple more solid ones. That was a better strike. That's got to give me some yardage. Oh, there she is. 193. Just pops up that bit higher, T200. It's a hard one to beat, T200, because it's such a good iron. It's such a good iron. I was really disappointed. I was sort of expecting the Elite to perform a little bit better than that. I'm going to have to put one more Elite in there just to make sure it wasn't me. Let's hit another T200. A bit toey, but let's just hit one more with the Elite to make sure that's not my swing doing that. But that is a considerable difference in distance between Elite and T200. What have we got there in terms of best? We've got 193 carry. Oh, 193. Fatted one. 181. So it's about 10 yards longer on the best. So let me just, I'm going to hit one more with the Elite just to test that it's not me. Just really low when it comes out. The big difference for me when I'm hitting these two irons today is that Elite has come out really flat, and I think that's one of the reasons they've been able to put in the X and the HL for those players that need either side of that coin, if you need to hit it a bit lower or you need to hit it a bit higher, HL would definitely help. 175, I mean, it's a brilliant iron. It performs nice. Callaway you put back on the map. I've got to hit one more with T200. See, that was a really poor strike. I think that's the one thing I would notice. The feeling off of the bad strike with T200 isn't anywhere near, or it doesn't feel as you've got away with it anywhere like the Elyte iron. Okay, one more. Okay, 170, so a thin shot, 170. In overall, I'm looking at that thinking to myself, if we were to jump in on the numbers, it's a really difficult one because looks wise, they're very similar from the top. Behind the ball, they look very similar. In terms of performance, the Elyte for me on this occasion has been a little bit flatter. Hasn't really given me what I wanted. T200, every time I've hit it, it performs really well for me. I think this one is going to be a toss-up of how much money do you want to spend, because they're both, on their day, they're both going to perform. They're both going to be giving you forgiveness. T200, that little bit more money, it's going to cost you a bit more. But in the end, it might just be worth it. Callaway, you've done an amazing job with this iron, but up against the T200, it's not quite there. Guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that video. Remember, please hit that subscribe button and tell all your golfing friends.